I'm here at Dance Fusion. This is Laurie Alston on the Dance Fusion Show. It's a great place to be. Come join us.
I'm Marianne Kuebler, and I'm the Artistic Director of Dance Fusion Academy of Dance. We offer a wide variety of classes for children to adult from 1.5 years of age to, I think, our oldest dancer is close to 70. We do ballet, jazz, tap, musical theater, hip hop, break dance. We have aerial and acro classes. Registration is open for fall 2021, so please contact the studio as Audio Jungle.
It's the Dance Fusion Show on the Culture Channel with this week's guests on a wire: Halle Livingston, Trystan McGowan, Ella Lou, Jenna Healy, Angelina Mazzuca, and not appearing today, Gemma Julien, with your host, Laurie Alston, and our artistic director, Marianne Kuebler. How you guys doing today?
Great, thank you.
So great. So great.
So great. Yeah, we're excited to have the girls here this morning.
It is awesome. So tell me about the program that they come up on and what brings such qualified and nearly professional dancers.
Okay, well, these girls are from our advanced tap program, and I handpicked a few of them to do a special choreography. We're talking about last summer. I had brought Jellison up here from Calgary, and Brock has quite a history. I don't know if you sort of Googled him. The opening ceremonies of the 2010 Vancouver Olympics, Brock was, I call him
on the drum,
the crazy man on the moon tapping, and he choreographed the whole tap sequence for the opening ceremonies. He's got quite a history. He grew up in Fort St. John. His mom had a studio there. Then he relocated to Vancouver. He was a tap dog, so he traveled the world as a tap dog. He worked on cruise ships, and he relocated to Calgary, I think,
a couple years ago.
5 or 6 years ago, maybe. He's married and has 2 kids, and he's teaching for, I think it's Prestige Dance Studio in Calgary. But he has a different approach to tap. It's kind of novel, and he does amazing stuff, and it's nice to expose the kids to a different way of tapping. And I was really lucky because our in-house advanced tap teacher, Jeff, he spent time with the girls and helped clean them, which is kind of nice and not really heard of, where somebody cleans somebody else's choreography. So these guys have worked really hard perfecting this. It's very different, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm just sorry that they didn't get a chance to do it in festival this year.
So Laurie, what are we expecting in terms of artistic expression and choreography? You know, so as we prepare to watch this, you know, what are we looking for?
Well, I'm really excited because I haven't seen this piece either. So this is going to be a treat for me and something I could maybe speak on a little bit more after. But knowing Brock, I've known Brock since he was probably maybe 12 years old. Yeah. So I've seen a little bit, and I've adjudicated some of his work, and I've worked with him. And you know, he's just one of the most creative humans, and he loves to take music that you wouldn't necessarily put tap to. So I'm expecting that there's probably like a rhythm that isn't always, you kind of, maybe that you create your own rhythm to a piece of music where most people wouldn't hear to create those counts, those sounds. But he does a lot of lyrical type movement within with his footwork and with his tap work, and just has the most creative ear and eye. So I'm actually really excited. These girls look great, and I'm sure there's a story to go with it.
I'll just give you a little story to go with it. It's called On a Wire. Because they're supposed to be birds on telephone wires, right? Okay, so that's the premise. So I'm going to move out of the way. We'll have the girls take their spots, and then if you have any questions you want to ask them after, we can do that. So I'm going to move out of the way. Okay, ladies, enjoy your spot.
I'm Anne-Marie Scott. I'm on the Dance Fusion Show, and you can find us on the Culture Channel.
That is so good. Okay, so let's do the quick adjudication. Like when you're an adjudicator, what would you just briefly and not harshly, but just what did you see?
Well, I mean, it's been so long for these kids since they've
Actually been in-house tapping.
Yeah, been in-house tapping, come in here.
Yeah.
So unity is something that we're always looking for. Do you sound, when you're in a group, do you sound like one person, right? Because you don't want it to sound like 5 different people, unless it's intentional within the rhythms that you're creating. So we're, of course, always looking for unity within your footwork, mostly. I think the style, that's what's so great about, I loved that, I call it armography. So often, you can do tap, very classical tap, Broadway tap, which was more like the croquettes, right? Where your arms are placed and everything is sort of perfect. And sometimes a lot of students or groups of dancers will look so clean and it's impressive because you get these pictures from the waist up that are perfectly crisp and clear and clean. And people get confused with the fact that what is happening below your waist with your footwork. They think, oh, everything's fantastic, whereas the footwork might not be there. So what I love to see with these girls is that I feel like the technique is there, and so they're doing all the things, really difficult,
very difficult,
right?
Yeah.
Between like slides and scuffs, and they've got their toe stands and their their wings and their pullbacks and their pickups and whatever. Like they're really technically it's there, but I love the story and I love the arms. I felt like the arms were what was telling the story, which is fascinating, right?
Kind of off balance.
Yeah, and the little
wire.
like the claws. Like I just love that little moment of there's my claw on the wire and or kind of the wings and so those maybe sometimes aren't as clean because they're different and every bird would be different, right? So it's what style are you attracted to? So I loved the story of that, which a lot of tap doesn't have a story. So
there was a lot for me, and I don't know the technical dance term, but it was like this hesitation. The movement was forward, but there was this hesitation, sort of a mock reverse, like a reverse motion, like a relaxed. It's very interesting.
On the wire where they bunch up and then kind of away from each other a little bit, or get out of my space, right? Birds are really territorial. So I think there's things to be explored when you're learning a piece like this. So I'm excited to talk to the girls about what the choreographer talked to them about, because I feel like come on out, guys.
Find a spot. Make sure that you stay a little bit apart.
I think as a choreographer, sometimes you have things in mind that you want to say or to explore, and sometimes we don't do a great job of always explaining that, and it's up to the kids kind of within their own artistry to create those stories. And sometimes we're very clear, I think, on this was my vision, this is what I want, and this is how I think you should execute it. So I don't know, can you guys tell us what
Anybody?
you were told?
I'm going to back out of the way a bit.
That this story, like, what were you told per se as to what he wanted to see from this?
I know he wanted it like really bouncy because we're supposed to show that
you're on a wire.
Yeah, and it's unstable.
You see Trystan there.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, let them each introduce themselves. Let's put some faces to names.
Let's start over here.
I'm Jenna. I'm Trystan. I'm Angelina. I'm Halle. And I'm Ella.
Excellent, thank you. And so and then go ahead, answer the.
Halle, what were you going to say? You were saying something.
Well, it's kind of like we're all a flock of birds, and we all sit on this wire. But the thing is, it's starting to become very unstable, and so we kind of want one of the birds to like go off and leave. And so that's why Trystan and I are kind of like
fighting. You were fighting.
And it kind of seems like it's to trick the audience in a way that they think I'm gonna kick Trystan off the wire, but in the end, it's actually Ella.
Yeah.
And birds don't care if another bird falls. So at the end, you just look.
Yeah, they go like, whatever, you're done.
I love that. So it was fairly clear and explained to you then what you wanted to see. Now, are you seagulls?
I have no idea.
I always think birds, I think black, like a blackbird or a crow or a magpie.
But these guys are white,
yeah.
right?
That was an interesting choice. And he was specific about what he wanted.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
I wonder if he did that as a rebellion, or if you're seagulls. Do seagulls sit on pigeons? Gray pigeons, white pigeons?
Crows.
Crows would be black. Anyway, these are.
Yeah, you know, some of the footwork and some of the shifting balance that you guys were doing was it's very athletic.
You have to really, as a tap dancer, your weight is down into the floor and also over the balls of your feet. So you always, it's like in basketball, I always say, or like football or something, if you're, you're ready on defense, your weight is not on your heels or in the middle. No. It's on your toes so that you can move and push off and transfer of weight easily. So that way you have ability to, transfer the weight where you want, but you're mostly ready to go. Yeah.
And now a lot of the footwork was off balance, low or off center of gravity. So that tells me that you've got a lot of flexibility. You got a lot of openness in your legs and hips. Do you guys take yoga? Like how do you stretch? Like what's the fitness that's involved to be able to dance like this? Like normal stiff people that aren't athletic can't dance like this.
Well, and there's this is the type of work that you don't have to be as flexible in your hips. I mean, you do. But so most of these kids we've taught in all the genres. So they've, taken acro, jazz, lyrical. Most of them still take jazz, lyrical, ballet. Like they are taking they're trained in general in everything so that they have that flexibility. The flexibility mainly needs to be in the ankles. Yeah. And there needs to be that balance of strength, but your ankles need to be able to do this. That seems a little odd, but you need to be able to kind of flop and have that flexibility and mobility, but also to control it because you're articulating your toes, your heels, so you have to be loose. We kind of talk about that a little bit. Loosen up your ankles, so that you have the freedom and the flexibility. You're right, because they do a lot of scrapes. Like, so Halle, if you were to do like a wing or like a prep for a wing, like when you're right? And then a dump like a wing. So you're actually rolling onto the sides of your. He's just putting on camera.
No, that's awesome. So
right, and balancing to scrape and then pull it back in. So you've got to have that flexibility, but also the control. Otherwise, you'd roll your ankles. So
now, and the only reason I ask is it's sort of a social question. Like, how old of people are you? How old are you?
I'm
14.
I'm 17. 14.
18. Okay, so I thought maybe you're all 18 and you go out dancing and stuff, and I was going to wonder, do you break?
14 to 18.
14's a little young. I was just wondering if you broke out into tap. You know what I mean? Like you're so good.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. We're hoping that this group is going to all be back next year so that they can go into festival, right, and perform this piece.
Yeah. I just have a question because dance is so fun and that's and you guys, this is such a high level. It was so enjoyable. I really appreciate it, and I know all the viewers of TVU will like it. But when do you guys just find yourself tap? Like when do you just tap on your own? Like when after you get a good grade, or when you're trying to prep for a family event.
In the grocery store.
In the grocery store.
Seriously, in the grocery store, I'll tap. See, and they're shaking their heads too. Yeah, going shopping.
Under the desk, I'm sure at school too. Is that a big one?
Yeah. My teachers yell at me for just having my feet like constantly vibrating.
Yeah. It's a good thing if you're a little ADHD, like some of our.
Now you're like your younger brothers and sisters and your cousins and stuff. They must really admire your ability to dance. Do they always want to see you dance? Like, do they try to get you to dance all the time?
Sort of. A lot of the older relatives like it.
Yeah.
They want to see. They're so proud, right?
What I want to say too is like tap is a bit of a dying art, which is the saddest thing because I don't think that people understand. I mean, tap was what was in all the old movies. Like you've got your Ginger Roger, Fred Astaire. Like these are the movies. They incorporated tap. Sid Charisse. Like there were full tap numbers in old movies. Well,
Yeah.
you would never really see that anymore. And so in a way, it's a bit of a dying art, but it's so difficult and takes so many years to practice. But also at the same time, anybody can do it, which is
why we have the adult classes and whatever, and
So
Jeff
fun.
teaches the croquettes, right? I don't know if I ever told you where that name came from, did I?
The croquettes.
Old Crocs and the
Yeah.
Rockettes. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
the croquettes.
I was grooving with it. I knew. So what? Let's you know, we're going into that. You guys are at the top level, so you guys are going to be moving into being, you know, probably, you know, assistant coaches and teachers and stuff. So what can you say, you know, on a wire team here to encourage other young people to get involved in tap?
Can I ask each one of them to say something?
Yeah, they can come a little closer and.
Okay, Jenna, come on down here, you guys. I'll say come down stage here.
you can
What do you think about tap?
Yeah, I always thought tap was one of my favorites, and yeah, it's definitely a dying art. So I try to encourage young dancers, and I find that you start at tap like at a very young age, and people start quitting when they get to like 12, 13 years old, and that's really sad. I don't know why that is, but yeah, it tends to be a dying art. So I'm trying to encourage everyone to continue with that because it's really fun, and once you get like really good at it, it can like take you places. Yeah, of course. There's still like a whole bunch of Broadway musicals still doing tap stuff, and it's very important to have that. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll just add from the corner until the next one comes that for some auditions for companies, they actually ask for a tap combo because it's a way of critiquing who has a whole broad range of skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead, Trystan.
For me, at least in my opinion, I feel like tap is much more freeing than a lot of other dance styles. And it's so fun to do. Like it's, I don't know, kind of euphoric, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Mm. It speaks to your creativity, and that's awesome. That's so good.
That's great.
Very artistic, yes.
Angelina?
Well, I started tap when I was really, really young, and it was like the first type of dance I did, and I just like loved it ever since. It's been my favorite, and I just think like it's a really good way, like dancing in general, it's just a really good way to get exercise, but like having fun and like talking to people, and you know, you make a lot of friends. So it's just a lot of fun.
I wanted to talk about that, your friendship as you in your group here. You guys seem really close. You've known each other for years and years, and you're close friends?
Yeah. Yes.
That's so good. That's so good.
Okay, Halle, come on.
I'm just kind of going to say this like in general for dance. But I find dance isn't really just about, you know, you have to go off after you're done doing it and, you know, make a career out of it. It's also great for, you know, it teaches you commitment. It keeps you physically fit. Like it teaches you a lot more life skills than just like how to stay, I don't know, mobile. But yeah.
I love that.
A question I have, and I'll ask you because you sort of talked about it, is how does it help you with not necessarily your schoolwork, but feeling capable, you know, to engage, you know, complicated academics? Is there a relation that you've conquered it with dance? Does that move over into your academics too?
Yeah, I'd say so because, you know, with everything in life, there's always your obstacles, your challenges you have to overcome, and dance, comes a lot of challenge, just like school. And, you know, when you complete these challenges, complete these difficult tasks, it helps a person feel accomplished. And it also just like encourages you to do more things when you know get into later years.
Okay, Ella, come on.
So I think tap is like really cool because all you need is a pair of shoes and you can do it anywhere and you don't need a stretch or anything. And I think dancing in general also teaches you to be able to balance things out in your schedule. So it doesn't only teach you some factors of like commitment and stuff, but it also teaches you that you know when you have to do this or when you have to do that. And it doesn't collide as much as you get more used to it. And I think that's really important because when you grow up, even if you're not dancing, you still need to learn how to balance things out and not stress yourself out too much. So I think that's a really great part of it.
I love that these kids know
They're-
that already.
They're so mature. I was gonna
Yeah.
say time management.
Yeah.
They're all learning time management. If they're dancing 8-10 hours a week, or even if they're only doing a couple,
Balance.
they're learning how to
work-life.
balance schoolwork and life, and even some of them have jobs and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But also dance, and it's been talked about, tap especially is great for brain activity and helping prevent Alzheimer's. Not that these guys need to worry about that yet,
Mhm.
but there's a real correlation between intelligence and dance and how you can apply that to school. And I think sometimes people think, oh, you can't do extracurricular activities because you're getting to a certain level of school. But I think it actually can help in the whole scheme.
Well, and you remain
It's-
focused and you remain
Right.
like really
And
good
it's-
about time.
and it's a stress release. It's, you know, it's multi-purpose, I think.
We always talk about
It's good. It's so
boss
good.
babe,
Be
right?
be
Be your own boss, babe.
Be your
Yeah.
own boss.
And well, you can see you guys are all so bright. You can just see how sharp and intelligent you
These kids
are,
are
and talented, and
Yeah.
fit. And it's just such great examples of young people. Now, this is the Dance Fusion Show on the Culture Channel, and we've had On a Wire with Halle Livingston, Trystan McGowan, Ella Lou, Jenna Healy, Angelina Mazzuca, and not appearing, Gemma Julien. And we've had our host, Laurie Alston, and our artistic director, Marianne Kuebler. And we'll close with open freestyle from On a Wire. Awesome.
Marianne Kuebler, Artistic Director of Dance Fusion Academy of Dance in Sherwood Park. We have Kit DeHalo behind me. He is one of the instructors for our summer hip hop programs. And Isaac Shabbatz is one of our students, and he is the administrator for Boys Dance 2. We are accepting registrations for our summer dance programs and our fall programs, and we have all COVID sanitary practices in place, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks, and register right away.